Wellness begins where play, pleasure, and the parasympathetic meet. You were born to be you, and you were born to be well. Your body is always trying to find its way back to health. Now, here's the host of Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Coopersmith.
Welcome, my friends. You are listening to Your Healing Playground on the Inspired Choices Network. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith. I am your doctor, your spiritual witch, your healer, your transformational podcast supporter, podcast host, and I'm here today talking about comparison-itis. And itis in Latin means inflammation, and we are living in a world of competition and comparisons, and I feel like it's inflammation of the soul, and I think it destroys souls, it destroys trust, it destroys us, me. It certainly was difficult for me. I'm realizing that the concept of competition in and of itself isn't bad. The concept of comparison because of competition is a survival mechanism. And again, we all need to survive. We are born little infants, helpless, trying to get the world to take care of us until we can care for ourselves. And competition is take care of me. Comparison is saying, I'm important. Please look at me. Please look at me. Save me. Let me be me. Let me be the best version of me. It's really a survival mechanism. And collaboration is our opposite. And collaboration is how we survive collaboratively as a team, as a society, as a civilization, as a family, as your group of friends. And so comparison-itis is really the judge inside of yourself. And we can't get out of childhood without the judge. The judge is our left logic, survival, take care of me brain. And the judge is, our child is somewhat helpless to care for themselves. And to understand the world around them. They are really in the world trying to understand what's going on, how to survive in their family, how to survive in school, how to survive in after school activities, in daycare. And they're navigating all these different communities and they're themselves, right? And so we're always judging ourselves as it compares to others, judging others as they compare to ourselves, judging life itself and circumstance. Why is this always happening to me? Why is life doing this? And really, our life is a reflection very much of our inner reality, because we all have the ability to see life differently. So I'm going to play with a little game to start with. If you can, and I learned this from Tony Robbins, wish I could say he was a personal friend because he's an amazing human as a mentor. But I want you to, right now, gently look around your room and look at the color red. See if you see things that are red. And just notice them. And then close your eyes and remember, where did you see red? And then also notice, now that I'm asking you, where else did you see blue? And now gently open your eyes. And I bet the red you committed to memory and you really saw it. But the blue there was probably a lot more blue than you remembered, because your reality is geared for what you're paying attention to. And so we've lived in a society of comparison-itis and comparison for thousands of years. And certainly in the last few hundred, we had Darwin examining evolution and telling us about survival of the fittest. And survival of the fittest was all about the strongest and the smartest survive. And that's what he saw in his research in animal evolution, in plants, because that's what he was looking for. And because he was living in a society that valued strength, the masculine. Men were strong, they went out, they won wars, there was conquest. And he saw societies such as the chimpanzee, where the alpha male was competitive and comparison, and he was bigger and had more plumage and all that. And he won. He became the winner of the race in his tribe. And that's kind of what humans were doing. They were elevating the rugged individual. Certainly in America, we do this. And the strength, and we go to school and we get grades and we get praised for getting A's. And we were taught that being the smartest is really important. We didn't get grades for being the kindest. We may have gotten accolades for being the best musician or the best artist or the best athlete, right? But did we get real rewards for sportsmanship and for being kind? And yet, as a species, how did we survive without collaboration? And collaboration is very different. It's the same and different from competition, because it's collaborating in groups to survive. And so when we're comparing ourselves one to another, we're judging, am I good enough compared to them? Is my friend group good enough compared to them? Think about Mean Girls in high school and popularity and the jocks in high school, and everyone's competing for this pecking order of success. And there have been lots of people who get to the top of their field, make all the money, have the pretty wife, have the kids, have 100 cars, have everything they've been told that they're supposed to want. They've competed in society for status, for money, for all the trappings of success, which might include the pretty wife. And they're hollow on the inside. Is this it? Is this all there is? And that's because they lost the values. Well, the values were there, but the scales were off. And I know that happened to me in a lot of ways. I was always taught to use my brain and compete and be the best in the class. And being the best in the class sometimes meant I got pulled out in a little group of 5 kids to the higher reading group. And that made me feel special. And it also made me feel kind of special in a bad way, because I was singled out and the pressure was on. And so school was a pressure cooker to be the best I could be. And I had to do it. I had to be the best. Let me tell you a story. My father, I would come home and bring my papers, and I would do really well in school. Come on, I'm a doctor. We had to do well in school to get into medical school. We had to get all the good grades, and we were praised and chosen for our grades. And so to me, I was taught that my brain was my best feature, right? And I would come home and I would get a 99 on my test. And my father would give me a hug, 99, that's great, but where's the extra point? Why didn't you get 100? My mother, she was a middle school math teacher. And at the end of the year in New York, there was state testing. And she would make parties and celebrate all the children who got 99 and 100. The 98s didn't come. So high bar for perfection. And that was good because it pushed me to keep doing well. But let me tell you, every summer I went to summer camp. And summer camp, we didn't get grades. I always still tried to do my best and be the best athlete and make the best pottery and be the best in the play and the best singer, but I wasn't the best artist and I wasn't the best singer, but I was still accepted and I was still in the play. And we had competitions, healthy competitions. We had color war and Olympics and team sports and team games, but we had to do most of it as teams. And so I learned and felt so comfortable being part of something bigger than me, collaborating as our camp, as our group, as our bunk. Until maybe middle school, when mean girl time and competing for the attention of boys showed up. Because girls were raised, or I was raised, that I could succeed on my own, but really the best success was to find a mate, that I wasn't whole until I had another human to balance me out, because my real job was to be a mom, a parent, and make sure we propagate the species. And I feel like I'm going off in all places. But in those years when I was trying to find someone to make me feel whole, I was looking for collaboration, but I somehow was competing for the attention of boys. And that made me not collaborate as well with girls. And when I look back at those years, I don't really like some of my behaviors, some of my actions. And a lot of us have talked about mean girl culture in middle school, in high school. And it's not nice. But mean girl culture comes from the competition in our society. It comes from women being taught that they have to compete to get the right mate because they weren't really allowed to own money and support themselves. They had to be chosen. And your parents wanted to make sure your girl got chosen by the best mate who could provide for them, who wouldn't abuse them, who wouldn't be a drunkard, who would care for them. And so women were competing with other women for their girls. Women in some nations, right, they bind the feet of the Chinese women to make them have the smallest, prettiest feet. But if they bound them, they couldn't run away. In cultures in Africa, they mutilated little girls to make sure that when the boys chose them, they knew they were virginal and that the guy could break horrible, horrific scarring of a female's genitals to ensure that he got someone who was pure. So we were competing. These women were competing to make sure they got the men to take care of them. Survival of the fittest. And the men had to live on these horses and go kill other men because somehow their culture was better than theirs. And so we were killing the children of moms through war. But survival on this planet as communities, way back when, we needed to work together to grow our crops, to hunt animals, to pick and choose which vegetables were not poison. So do you see how competition and collaboration have to go hand in hand? And I'm going to take you back to way back in sort of prehistoric times in how you were made, how plants are made, and how we are meant to have survival instincts which lead to competition and survival of an individual and a family, but collaboration is survival of the species, growth, change, evolution. And we're at this point in our civilization now where we have to balance the two, and we have to start moving forward into collaboration, bringing back collaboration, energy, emotions, and connection, and supporting that, and not just getting ahead. So we're going to take our break, and I want you to ask yourself at the break, where do you compete? Where do you compare yourself to others, and where does that comparison leave you feeling short or leave you judging others? And how does it make you feel? Because it usually leads to a negative taste in the body and a negative emotion. And I want to flip the switch to help you feel positivity and joy and acceptance. So let's take our first break. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your doctor, your coach, your speaker, your change agent. And we are on the Inspired Choices Network, who is here lifting up so many voices to change this planet. One human at a time, one team at the time. Let's take our break.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Coopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Coopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your witchy doctor, speaker, coach, support advocate, change agent. We are on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking today about comparison-itis, or inflammation of comparison. And you know, to me, it is the holding the both ends of competition and collaboration. And we talked about Mean Girls. We talked about competition and survival of the fittest and the story, the realities that we've been downloaded. These, they're stories that become ingrained in us of how to do life and how to do life in a competitive way, how to do life going it alone, rugged individualism. That was America. We compete. Our family's better than your family. My culture's better than your culture. I'm going to take over because England and the West and the Spanish are better than the Native Americans and the foreigners that look different. We're going to colonize Africa, colonize the world because we're better. We're competing with them. And that's not how society started. So let's take a step back and think about first how you were born and who you are in this incredible body that you have. We go through life in bodies. Now this body, and I'm an obstetrician, gynecologist, fertility doctor. This body starts, let me tell you, first with an idea. I want to have a baby. And most of the time, two individuals get together. There's a burst of energy like a big bang, like a reproduction of a universe, the way we talk about Big Bang and the outer reality and the sky and the earth coming into existence in this outer reality. Well, our inner reality, the microcosm, the sperm and the egg meet, and like literally there's an explosion of energy as the sperm penetrates into the egg, and all of a sudden there's this germinating seed. Now the seed gets into the tube and it keeps multiplying, one cell, 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell, as it's snowballing in size, rolling down the tube, investigating, am I safe? Am I safe to germinate in this uterus? Can I invade this universe and literally put down tendrils and roots and stabilize myself in this uterus? And let me tell you, 85% of conceptions never make it to this planet as a live human being. I'm going to say that again. 85% of conceptions never make it to this planet as a live human being. So the fact that you were born, you competed, but these cells were actually collaborating and talking to themselves. And the first thing that happens is a vibrational pulse of energy. We see it online as a heartbeat, but there's no heart yet. It is a vibrational pulse of energy. And all solid matter, all particles are just energy with a slow enough frequency that we see and perceive them as physical matter. That's physics. That's for another podcast. But we are vibrating. And as we are vibrating, the cells are starting to align and the cells are starting to differentiate. They've decided they're going to put down roots. Now, if you look at plants, seeds of plants can hang out in the soil for decades, years. And in that one seed, the entire forest can be repopulated. I'm going to say that again. In one seed, an entire forest can be reseeded. In one human embryo, we can reseed the entire population if it becomes an apocalypse. Women might become, what's that TV show where, like Handmaid's Tales, we need to repopulate after the apocalypse, right? But these seeds have to determine, is the environment ripe for my germinating, my invading, my sending out roots and tendrils to be safe to grow? And the roots come first, that root chakra, that safety of self, of nervous system. And so it is in the embryo for the human, so it is in plants. And they send out roots. Now, in plants, I'm reading a great book called The Light Eaters by Zoe Slanger, and I'm sure I totally butchered that name. I apologize. They send out roots, and you know what? Those roots in plants are somehow communicating with other roots, and they're talking. And if there are lots of family members, similar plants, they will grow, but they won't compete with the roots. If they're other different plants, they will compete and kind of crowd out. So there's a competition in seeds of plants to get the best purchase on the environment. Twins have a higher risk, I realize, of complications. And they're very, they're the same but different, right? And they're competing, just like we talked about in the Goldilocks episode, of competing and comparison between siblings in a family. We want to be seen as ourselves and differentiate differently. So once we put down roots, once we know we're stable in this uterus, or we're stable in this family, or we're stable in the soil, then we first send up shoots into the light to connect to the light and the divine, and trust that it's okay to blossom and show our beauty to the rest of the world. And there's still a competition up on earth for sun between plants. And you can read The Light Eaters and talk about how plants talk to each other through aromatic compounds, through electricity, through mimicry. There is an intelligence to plants. And again, they're doing collaboration and competition. And we humans have survived thousands of years on the planet. We need to be seen and accepted and know that we belong, so that family root, do I have friends? Do I have support? Do I have family? Do I have food, water, and shelter? If I am safe in my environment, then I can shine, then I can look beautiful, then I can share with others and perhaps go deeper and trust that I can be myself. Well, women have been cast out and have to get chosen and leave their family of origin, and it's not always been safe for them to show the depths of who they are. The feminine in all of us is energy, emotion, connection, collaboration. And men have had it shut down. They have to be strong and individual. And women have been told to dim their light and don't let anybody know that you have emotions, that you need support. Social media is about showing your beauty, but it's often fake. It's like you gotta compare yourself and show only the prettiness. But we connect through vulnerability. There's another book, Bittersweet, that's about how humans connect through the minor, not the major, which is of music, but the minor rhythm of music, because it's through vulnerability. And when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about comparison-itis and how comparing and going it alone and not showing your vulnerability and not showing others where you need help is where we fall apart. And social media is about putting out, even in our vulnerability, we got to be the most vulnerable. Like we're comparing on a level of who's doing it the best, who's using ChatGPT the best, who's putting out the best stories, who's reaching the most people, who's got the biggest, the best business. But if I reach one person today, if one person remembers You are here to be you. Yes, but it's not a competition or a comparison. It's just feel safe in your root chakra to be you. Feel safe. Find your tribe. Find your family. And it may be your family of origin. It may be your chosen family. Find people who get you, who you can be you, who you can show all of yourself to, the positives and the negatives. If it's a therapist, if it's a coach, if it's a team of people, it's in this collaborative circle where you can be you. And there you put your roots down and you connect one to another. And when you connect one to another, you can be stronger to show everybody your beauty, your magic superpower, because we all have a magic superpower. And if we come together in community and trust that no one's there to tear us down, but rather to support us, that's where creativity comes. That's where innovation comes. That's where we can build society and we can have a better society. That's where Burning Man shows itself. 10 days in the desert with no money. Everybody knows if someone's hungry, they're going to share their food. If someone needs somebody, they're going to give a hug. It's a different way of living. The bonobos are actually more genetically related to the humans than chimpanzees. And they solve conflict through compassion and touch and sexuality, by shaking it off, by releasing trauma, by touching each other with love and connection, not through trying to be the best, but by celebrating all. And when we change our society and live in circles and connection and communication and stop this judging of self, judging of others, judging of life circumstances, but rather believe in yes and the wisdom of connection, collaboration, curiosity, the wisdom of the children before they've been programmed to compete. We will have emotional intelligence. We will have energetic intelligence. We will connect and we will build a bigger, better, stronger society. And we will take our break. Right now is our second break. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith. I am a doctor, but I am a change advocate for a new way to do medicine, a new way to do healing, a new way to reach your highest self. It's not through comparison. We are on the Inspired Choices Network. We are celebrating voices, yours, mine, and ours. Let's take our break.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Coopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day and taking us to bed with you. We're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Coopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, my friends. Once again, you are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your witchy doctor, change advocate, and speaker, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network, and we are speaking today about comparison-itis, an inflammation of the soul. And I think it is a subtle disease of competition and struggle for survival and struggle to live your best life on this planet. And I'm here as a physician. My goal is to be a change advocate. I don't want to throw technology, Western medicine, under the bus or throw it away. I like to use it, but I'd like to change how we play. So I'd like to be more of a wellness advocate and a wellness physician and coach. What I'm planning is to change how we do wellness, especially for women, but couples as well. And going once a year to your physician and having a one-on-one interchange does not change the inner programming. And the inner programming is so solidified by the time we're out of childhood that it takes behavior change, it's thought changes, it's energy changes, and it's a process. And just like civilization is changing and it's a process, so too in individuals, it's a process. So my goal is to bring health and wellness into the retreat format, because we can't heal the physical body when we're living in fear and when we're fearing illness. We have to promote wellness. We have to teach wellness, and wellness is a composite of mind, body, heart, and spirit. And we've thrown out spirit when we kind of said we're above and beyond religion. And I'm not here promoting religion, but I started to talk about how the human is born. There is a divine intelligence of that little embryo that chooses birth, okay? And those cells collaborate together, and together one cell becomes an organ, and organs communicate with other organs, and there's blood and lymph and the nervous system connecting all these organs. And these one-celled organisms intercalate an ancient bacteria in their cells, and that's the battery-generated operator that keeps our cells working and moving. That battery needs food, so we are interdependent on plants and animals for food. Our bodies need sunlight in the same ways plants need sunlight, and we need plants for their food, which needs sunlight. So this earth and this sun is as critical to our health and our wellness as this human body. And the technology and the man-made stuff that is taught to us in school is critical to our growth, yes. And that's all about understanding and passing down of man's knowledge one to another. But humans need to live in a symphony where their bacteria, because we are bacteria all over us, on our skin, in all the holes in our body, the bacteria actually digest our food and make our neurotransmitters and literally are the conductors of the orchestra that is this body. And we need to live in harmony with our bacteria, our viruses, our fungi, and our human cells. It is a collaborative process that includes gravity, which is earth energy, and the grounding and the electrons that come from earth energy, and the divine electricity that comes from lightning and the sun and the vitamin D that we need so desperately. And we need to change how we're living. We need to go outside more. That's our natural habitat. We need to rediscuss which plants and which animals we intercalate with. We are interdependent. It is not a food pyramid or a pyramid itself where the humans are at the top. We are in an interdependent web. That's how we got ourselves born. And we got ourselves born without mind control, without our brains. We got ourselves born with, like, literally that one cell pulsating becomes a human being without the brain telling it what to do, with just the rhythmic pulsation that comes from your heart. Your heart. I want you to sink into that. Your heart is a way stronger energetic field than your brain. Your heart is connected to all the other hearts on this planet in a toroidal field of energy. We feel the vibration of the person next to us. That's why when we go into a room of positive energy, we feel uplifted. Our heart rate variability, that's the variation, beat to beat to beat to beat. We monitor that in fetuses, and if it crashes, we do a C-section and get that baby out. But the minute we're born, we forgot to test it. We need to raise the vibrations of every human on this planet, and we do that energetically by the vibrational field that we give off when we're in the presence of others. So collaboratively, we hold each other up. We build civilization. We solidify our root chakra. We know we are safe in ourselves to be the most creative human on the planet. My goal is to bring women together, couples together, to solidify the root. Who's your support system? And from that place, can you speak your truth? Can you become the creative you, the support, and the human you were meant to be? Can you shine in your glory? You need to have that foundational support of being safe in your body. And that doesn't happen. We can't be well unless we are completely safe in our body, until we get out of living in fight, flight, freeze, or please, and instead live in a collaborative state. Rest and digest, relax and reproduce. And yes, we are prioritizing survival right now over reproduction. And I'm telling you, sperm counts are going down. Egg counts are going down. We are in survival mode. And the universe is telling us to change how we do life so that we can survive collaboratively. Yes, my friends, we need teams. Wellness needs teams. We need regular meetings collaboratively to relax your nervous system, to relax and heal in support. Cancer is no longer the death sentence it used to be, but cancer, we changed how we treat it. It's not just the chemotherapy that's keeping us alive. It's the support. When people get cancer now, their friends come out from far and wide and support them and tell them, don't go, don't die. I love you. I'll bring you meals. I'll bring you love. I'll tell you you matter to me. I'll move, family moves back together, and we lift each other up and say, don't die. What would we do in COVID? We isolated people and put them alone in the hospital on respirators, and they died. isolation, getting rid of a support system, we wither and die. My chi was dying when I didn't have my group of physicians that I was living with, and I didn't have my support feminine structure, and my partner and I were somehow competing instead of collaborating to build the most loving home. We were both doing our best, but we didn't have the tools. So let me take our last break. You are listening to the Inspired Choices Network. This is your healing playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your host. We are on the Inspired Choices Network. We will take our last break and come back and talk some more about comparison and the inflammation of the soul that social media is doing to us, and how to get back to basics, back to love, joy, and acceptance.
Your healing playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Coopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer. This is your healing playground with Dr. Tina Coopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
All right, my friends, back to Comparison-itis. You are on your healing playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your host of this podcast. We are on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking about how Comparison-itis can really inflame your soul, shrink your soul, and that can lead to dis-ease in the body. And dis-ease in the body, I believe, is your body, all your cells and your microbiome speaking to you. And it's a language we've stopped listening to. But the microbiome and your cells are trying to get you, if you have a dis-ease in your body, if you're not feeling at ease, your body is trying to tell you to do life differently. And we've stopped listening and adjusting how we do life. Now, I was raised to go it alone, rugged individualism, be the best in the class, do life great. But I had teams all along the way. I went to summer camp. I had best friends in high school. I had my sorority and really roommates and great friends in college. I had support folks in medical school and in residency. We were a team approach. The women and men in my residency were working as a team. We were like an army working together in the hospital to take care of patients. And let me tell you that, again, my mom had instilled that the most important thing in my life was to get married and have kids. My father told me I could be whatever I wanted to be, sort of, doctor, teacher, lawyer. Okay, so I am a doctor, got to get married. So I graduated medical school, and in one fell swoop, in 1 month, I moved cross country 3,000 miles away from all my friends. I got married, brand new marriage, got to make it work. And I'm in this team approach in residency. And I was rocking residency. I love to learn. I love to help people. I'm in this profession learning, soaking up all the learnings and soaking up the team approach. Still was having trouble making deep friendships in medical school because I was prioritizing my spouse, because I had to build a marriage. my spouse already had his friends in this other city, and he was not interested really in meeting my friends. Fast forward, I'm done with medical school residency fellowship, and there's no one hiring in my city. And so I have to go into practice alone. But I didn't know I could speak my truth, and I didn't know I needed a team because I was taught I could do it on my own. And starting a solo practice during the time that I lived in was stupidity. And I was trying to do it all by myself without mentorship and without collaboration and without the support of my friends and without really a deep support of my partner. He was trying to support me, but he didn't know how, and I didn't know how to take it. And so I was comparing myself to everybody else, and I was soul crushingly dying. And I was only doing medicine and business, and I was doing everything for everybody else and not me. And I was coming up short in my brain. So I had to find myself back to me, and back to me meant teamwork. It meant mental health, physical health, emotional health, energetic help. And I had to let go of competing and ask for help. And it wasn't till I let go of competing and asked in my guides, trusting the universe, can I let go of my marriage? I may have to let go of my profession to treat women who need collaborative circles to grow, to find their wellness. I want to be their guide to help them be the best version of them. I don't want to compare myself anymore to doing doctoring the way everybody else is doctoring. I want to be a healer, and I just have to do it one podcast at a time, one retreat at a time, one book at a time. And I was in a healthy competition yesterday, running a triathlon, and at the end, I was helping this young woman cross the finish line together. We were saying our mantras together. I run for those who can't run. I run for those who don't have the strength to leave a spouse. I run for those who can't do the career that they want. I run for those who don't feel strong enough in their body to run to be the human that they want to be. I run for those who don't have food. I run for those who don't have water. I run and I compete to collaborate on this planet. I don't compare anymore. I have healthy competition within to collaborate with others without. I am only one human, and to survive as a species, it's not about comparing myself to others. It's about collaborating with others. I don't judge you. You are my mirror and I am yours. And together, yes, and what you want to do, I will support you to be the best version of you if you will support me to be the best version of me. And together, can we ensure that everyone's root chakra, everyone has housing, food, no more war. We stop killing those who look different than us. We stop shaming those who do life different than us. Can we come together as one human race? Can we change society so we celebrate sexuality, touch, empathy, compassion way more than competition and shooting down those that look different than us? Can we come to the peace table and find peace? Peace in our souls. When we have peace within, we will see peace without. We will accept others. Stop judging yourself and putting yourself down or judging others. Come in peace.
If you felt something move today, a molecule, a mindset, or your mood, that's healing. Your body listens to your stories, your thoughts, your breath. So speak to yourself with kindness, play with curiosity, and let your nervous system know it's safe to rest. Dr. Tina returns Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Remember, pleasure is a practice and play is your medicine.